Alright, so in this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through how to take one of your 3D renderings, whether it's your asymmetrical or unsymmetrical, whichever you prefer to call it, design, and then or a symmetrical design, and how to make that into a drawing file, how to place it in a drawing file so you can get that turned in for some points and things like that, because this is worth points, is your 3D rendering and getting that printed out. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to open up Autodesk Inventor, and this is going to be the actual airfoil that I work with inside the drawing file. Now remember, this is just the part file right here. We have this completed. This is my asymmetrical design, my unsymmetrical design. Remember, the upper camber, lower camber are different here. We're going to put this down in a drawing file, put some dimensions and things on it, so we could actually then create this, all right, and build this and test it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the application icon, and we're going to go to new, and this time, instead of going to a standard IPT, which is part file, we're going to go to a standard IDW, which is a drawing file, and you're going to go ahead and create that. All right, the default drawing file is a C size sheet of paper. All right, so this is fairly large. That's a large sheet, and we don't need it this large. We're printing out to normal printers, so we want to print things out 8.5 by 11, and then we're going to scale from that point. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this. So in our browser window, right under Sheet 1, you're going to right-click on Sheet 1. All right, and you're going to click on Edit Sheet. This will be the first thing you do. So a C size, just to give you an idea, is 22 by 17. It's huge. So we're going to change that to A size, which is a normal 8.5 by 11. And we're going to click OK. So that first reduces it down to an 8.5 by 11 sheet. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to populate this information in here, okay? Because right now there's not a whole lot. It does have your default user login name and the date and things like that in this size sheet, but we're going to update this with some more information. So you're going to right click on where it says drawing. You'll probably have it say, we'll typically say drawing 1. I was doing some other examples, so it says drawing 2 in here. So just right click over here where it has that little multi-view drawing. Just going to right click, go to iProperties, and now you're going to go into Summary. And under Summary, under the Summary tab, you're going to give this a name. All right, and the name you're going to give it is Airfoil Designs. You're going to do this all in caps. So we're going to type all in caps, Airfoil Designs. Subject is aviation tech, and then whatever the block number. Manager is just going to be your initials, and company is the same as the subject, so you can actually Control C that and then Control V, or copy and paste it down in the company and apply that, and then go into the project tab. And you're going to put, for the part number, you're going to put whatever the current year is. So if it's 2016, 17, 18, 19, whatever it is, you're going to put down the year. And then you're going to put 01. And that represents that this is your first set of drawing files that you're going to ever create, at least in aviation. You click Apply and close that. All right, now, so right now we have Airfoil Designs, Aviation Tech block, whatever the current block is, block 2, whichever one you're in, and the year and 01, the current date, things like that are all in there. And what I want you to do right now, there's one sheet. So we have one airfoil that we can stick in here, but we're going to actually create 2 sheets. So I want you to click on New Sheet. So now we have Sheet 1 and Sheet 2, and you'll know the difference between the two, because on the bottom right hand corner it says Sheet 2 of 2. If I double click back on Sheet 1, it's 1 of 2. Okay, so we're going to start working in Sheet 1 first, and what I'd like you to do in Sheet 1, you're going to click on Base, and everything that we do on Sheet 1 you're just going to mimic on Sheet 2. It's just going to be the other airfoil. And so under Base, I'm going to locate where I have my airfoil design. So here's my symmetrical design. Okay, so I can select this, and I'm going to click on Open. And what I'm going to do is I want to make this half scale. I'm just going to show you what this looks like if it was full scale right now. Oh, change that to full scale. So you see how it's huge. So we have to scale this down because we drew this and it's fairly long. I believe it's 11.5 inches in length. And we're working on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So we have to scale this down a little bit so we can work with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this half scale. And I'm going to have you stick this design. We're going to put the left view in. All right, so you see it just like I have it represented here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to half scale, and I'm going to left click. I'm going to drag this up and create a top view, and then I'm going to drag it to the right hand side. All right, create a right hand side view, and then I'm also going to do an isometric view, and it's okay if it's off the paper. We're going to change that here in a little bit. So I'm going to click that, right click, and then create that. All right, now I have multiple views. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to double click on this first view here, this left side view. So I'm going to double click. There's a red box that's around that. Double click that box. It takes me back into this drawing views window. And I'm going to shade those views. So here's my under style. This one here represents shading. It's going to shade it to whatever color you made that drawing as a part file. All right, so if you made it green, blue, whatever, it's going to represent that. So click OK. All right, you can see it changes all three of them. The only one it didn't was the isometric view. And we're going to change this. We're going to make this a little smaller anyway. So I want you to double click the red box around that one. And we're going to make this a quarter scale. All right, and we're still going to want to shade that. And click OK. And we're just going to move this out of the way a little bit, make sure it fits on the paper. Okay, so I have everything shaded. Represents the colors. I got a nice isometric view, nice 3D rendering there of all of our pieces. A couple things that we need to do here, though, is we still need a dimension, put a parts list, and we need to label some things. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to go into Annotate. You're going to click on Parts List, and you're going to locate again the airfoil. So this is my symmetrical design, so locate that, click Open, and we're going to click OK, and I'm going to drag this parts list in the upper right hand corner. All right, now in the parts list right now it says symmetrical airfoil, right, because that's the name I gave it. All right, again, I'd like this all in caps. Okay, and the description is going to be styrofoam. So basically building these out of styrofoam. Apply that. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to put some dimensions on here. So under dimension, you're going to click on dimension. We're still under the Annotate tab here. We're going to click on dimension. And I'm going to dimension this airfoil out. I'm just going to do some basic dimensions. You know, I'd like you to have at least half a dozen to maybe 8 dimensions on here, just enough that somebody could recreate this, rebuild this if they needed to. Okay, that's the whole point of a technical drawing. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, give the overall length. So I select one end and I'm going to go to the other side. All right, so there's my overall, and you can just click OK through here. There's my overall length. And let's say I want to get a dimension just of the dowel rod. I'll drag that off. Click OK. Let's say I want to get the diameter here. Okay. See my overall height. Alright. See my overall width here. Okay, I'm just going to move this one out of the way here. Put that in a better position here, so it's not on top of the other dimension. So again, try to have around 6-7 dimensions in here. 8 dimensions, things like that. I have about 5 right now. You know, if you wanted to, you know, we put a fillet in here, I could dimension that as well. That would give me a 6th dimension. see if we can get that on here. Alright, so I have that radius that represents that we made that fillet at 0.1 on this, and you know, it looks pretty good now. Alright, so the last thing, what we're going to do now is we're going to put some labels on here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to label this. I'm going to click on my text tool and put a label down here on the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I want this label to be 0.25, center justified, bold, underline. And we're going to call this whatever airfoil it is. So if this is my symmetrical, I'm going to label it that way. I'm just going to click OK so you guys can see that. Alright. Alright, so this says symmetrical airfoil. And again, we want that in a position where it's not going to run into the title block or anything like that. Actually, I'm going to make that just slightly smaller. I think that's a little large. Let's go ahead and make this 0.2 instead of 0.25. Yeah, it looks better. Alright, I'm going to go to another line of text here, and I'm going to unbold and underline that. And what I'm going to have you guys do, you can leave that at 0.2, but instead of having symmetrical airfoil, the next line of text, you're just going to put the scale. And if you remember from the scale, we made this at half scale. So we're going to colon that and then put 1/2. Alright, and press enter. We're going to click OK. So this looks pretty good. Alright, one last thing we're going to do is we're just going to scale this one. We want to put a scale over here. So I'm going to use another text tool. Drag a text box there. Again, you can make this underline 0.2. No bold, no underline for this one. And we'll just put in scale, colon. This one was 1/4, if you remember. Click OK. Alright, so now we represent that this is a 1/4 scale, the ISO. This one right here is half scale. We have the name of there, we have the material and everything, and that looks pretty good. Alright, so you're going to do the same exact thing onto sheet 2. Alright, sheet 2 is blank, but you'll do the same exact thing as in sheet 1, just you'll have your other airfoil on there, your unsymmetrical, and then you'll be ready to print. Alright, if you have any questions, ask a classmate or ask your instructor, and good luck.